What's going on, Assassins? It's Darkstrider, and I have a question for you guys in regards to everything that came out from Origins to today, or that will be coming out. We're talking Shadows included. So, the other day I put out a video in which I was saying that they are going to add a filter into Assassin's Creed Shadows, which will allow you to select canonical choices automatically. Meaning that it's not so much that the character is canon, like where in Odyssey you picked either Alexios or Cassandra, and only Cassandra was the canon character, or in the case of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where Eivor, the female version, was the canonical character, not the male version. In Shadows, it's going to be that they are both canon characters, that they're both canonical. All right, meaning that the two of them are the co-protagonists of the game. However, there are choices that you can make, such as who takes out a certain fortress or anything like that. Who did what in whatever situation, and they will make it canonically so that if there was a specific fortress that was supposed to be taken out by Noé, or a specific event that you were supposed to do with Yasuke, that those are what you're going to see. It would automatically select which character you get to play as, unlike what we saw with the demos, where they were showing us the trailers, and you would get to a certain point and you would select which character went into the fortress. You know that in the original trailer, Yasuke actually busted down a lot of doors and took out a lot of the samurai. And then when they got to the fortress, Noé actually went in and did her whole thing. Again, they're switching it up. They're giving you the ability to select who canonically did what, which I thought was weird because, the game itself, it really doesn't have an effect on anything, I don't think. But anyway, it brought up a whole bunch of other great comments and questions, and one of them I want to pose to you. Should they decanonize, speaking of canon, should they decanonize everything from Origins up to Shadows, and then when we get to, let's say, Hex, or Hexe, as somebody tried to argue with me, when we get there, that begins the canonical events of the series again. Now, the reason that this was even brought up is that a lot of the lore was rewritten or removed. And we see that, I don't think so much in Origins, but we definitely see that in Odyssey. Well, I did do a video in which I said that the timeline was broken, and this actually is part of what breaks the timeline. As you can see, we have a statue of Darius, who appears in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and then we also have Amunet, who Aya becomes. And it's just kind of wild that we have these characters and we have them in different capacities than what we saw in Assassin's Creed 2. Darius is supposed to be the very first showing of the Hidden Blade, and then we go into Origins, like what's going on there. We get to, I want to say, Odyssey, and in Odyssey you meet Darius. He's not a quote-unquote assassin. Assassins haven't been invented yet, and yet he has the Hidden Blade. So it's just weird. He's got the Hidden Blade. He's not an assassin. He doesn't become an assassin. He's just the dude. And that's how we leave him in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We never see him join Assassins. He clearly is not the creator of the Assassin's Brotherhood. And it's just weird that, spoiler alert, Spoiler alert. Darius takes the child of Cassandra and starts raising that child. And then Aya is one of the descendants of Cassandra. Meaning that, again, we broke the timeline, because if Aya was a descendant of Cassandra, and let's say she was learning all about the ways of Darius, the hidden blade and everything, that means that she would have known about the hidden blade. Where did Cleopatra get the hidden blade to give to Aya, who Aya then gave it to Bayek? If that's supposed to be an assassin construct, where the heck did Cleopatra get this from? So it's little things like that. As you can see, it breaks a lot of lore. It rewrites a lot of lore. That game alone, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, did do a lot of lore rewrites. I don't think Origins did so much, besides the whole fact that, it shows the starting point to be way later in time than, what it should have been. And if we go back to Assassin's Creed 2, we also have the whole Adam and Eve segment, in which Adam and Eve are basically the first assassins. They're the ones that escape with the apple. They're the ones doing all the assassin type stuff. And then all of a sudden they escape. So, what does that really mean? Does that mean that they were going to go one way, and then when the new team took over, they went a different way? The whole reason that they went the action RPG way was because they thought that the series was dying. The numbers for, I believe, from Unity, Rogue, Syndicate, those weren't doing so well. I kind of feel like Black Flag was the last one that really did numbers. And although it's arguably one of the best games, people will argue it is the best Assassin's Creed game. Initially, I found it boring, believe it or not, because everything was on the ship. You did go out and do a whole bunch of other things. It did have action RPG elements as well. So did Assassin's Creed 3, because you had to actually go out and, farm material for certain outfits and stuff, which increased your health, increased your look, all kinds of things like that. But then we went full on JRPG or action RPG with Origins, and it breathed new life. It was kind of cool. But there was always argument there, how do you start it when it's already begun? Where do you go from here? It's kind of weird. And then we went to Odyssey, which took place 400 years prior to the events of Origins. And it really made no sense, because it wasn't even an Assassin's Creed thing. It had nothing to do with Assassin's Creed whatsoever, or assassinations. It had to do basically with Cassandra looking for her family, and that was it. And realizing she's a god, which is kind of wild. So, that and many other reasons is why a couple of people had been asking or suggesting that possibly we should decanonize those games. And that's actually a discussion that has happened since Odyssey had even come out. People felt that it shouldn't be canon, that it should be like a sort of side story, that it should be, kind of like what they did with Star Wars, where they had the Han Solo story, which is just a Star Wars story, sidetrack thing. They felt that that's what it should have been. So, I don't know. What I do know is that there are some things that are similar as far as the canonization, and some things that are not. The events that happen in Atlantis with Juno, they rewrote that canon. It was one way in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Assassin's Creed Revelations, and then they totally switched it up with Assassin's Creed Odyssey again. So, just kind of wild. Just something to think about. Anyway, I turn it to you guys. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think they should decanonize that stuff? Do you think that there's a way to get around it to actually explain the retcons and the rewrites? Or do you think that it's fine, leave it alone as is, it's part of the story, we'll figure it out. We could always make up, our own suggestions, our own theories on this matter, on these games. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we kind of do make our own assumptions and our own theories, several of which that I have put out, Ubisoft has actually placed in the game. And I'm talking about, like, Retta being immortal. A lot of people didn't believe that Retta was immortal. Valhalla came out. Oh my God. The amount of apologies I received was hilarious. I also didn't believe that Aya and Cassandra were related, but somehow Ubisoft decided, yeah, we're going to mess up his theory and we're going to make them related, and they were. And then, just a bunch of other things here and there. So it's just wild. I mean, it could easily be done, and then it could be altered in the series. Is that what they want to do, or should they not do that? I put it to you. Anyway, that's all I've got for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps this channel out an awful lot. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. And until next time, take care, be good, stay safe, take care of each other. I'll see you guys all in the next one.